Hello, this is Ankit Alex. You are 15 CS to 58, and I'm making this video for the third experiment of C#. The aim of this experiment is to implement delegates, and for this, I'm making a program related to matrices, where using delegates we will do operations on matrices. So just like the last program, first of all I'll need a matrix class which will define or rather store the matrices that you created here. So there are two matrices which are created, matrix 1 and matrix 2. So we'll do operations on these. First let's see what these operations are and how we are going to use delegates on them. So first of all I'll define a delegate. So here is a delegate, so named mat function. So the syntax of a delegate is giving the access specifier, then the delegate keyword, then the return type of the delegate. So return of the delegate name, and then its parameters. So the delegate, one thing you should keep in mind while writing a delegate is that you should write a delegate in the same format of the functions that you want to access to these delegates. For example, here I want to access add and subtract. So the add returns a matrix and has two matrices as a parameter. Similarly, subtract also returns a matrix and has two matrices as an index. So this you have to keep in mind while implementing delegates. So finally, as you can see, then keeping that, I have made this function in the same format, and then given the logic to add two matrices and then return the resultant matrix. Similarly for subtract, just give the logic using for or whatever you need, and then return the result. So finally, after you have made this delegate, you come to the main function. So to access the delegates, first of all what you need is you need to make the object for the delegate. Find it. So as you can see here, I have made an object for let me see. See, I have made an object for delegate, that is mat function add. For this object I need to define that which function will it actually point to. It's actually kind of a pseudo pointer which will change to the function it's pointing to depending on the reference that you provide in the provide to the object. So for example, here this add delegate will point to result.add. Similarly, for subtract, it will point to result.sum. So there are different formats of this delegate defining. So this is singular. Now the second is multiple delegates. So what it does is, like, the single delegate will, when called, will implement with both of these pointing both of these functions which are pointed to. And since both of them are return types, the problem would be like which out of both delegates, which function should return a value and which should be stored in our. So here the last one, function that is included in the multiple delegate is delegate's return value is shown. Finally, there is array of delegates. So you have an array of function mat which has two functions, add and subtract. Finally, I have called a function using finally I made a menu to add these and here access these, and we have called the delegate and pass the parameters. That's it. That's how you implement the delegates. Finally, to implement the matrices, finally to implement an event, what you need to do is, first of all, make a delegate which will which is the type of which type will the event be. So the event, what it does is actually it's based on subscriber and publisher model. So here the publisher would be this. Here, as you can see, here the publisher is this particular function. So here it is. Here we have defined event named matrix event, uh, which will uh, which will point to which is subscribed by this function named matrix handler. So whenever I call this subscriber, so as this publisher, this event, what it does is it notifies this subscriber and calls it. So as you can see, whenever here what this is doing is whenever the row and column are not equal, it will throw an error that the value is invalid. So whenever this condition is met, it just notifies the subscribers. So this is how the program works. Let's try it out. As you can see no error came. Sorry, execution. So as you can see, let's add it, and as you can see, the program is running. So this is it. Thank you for watching.